distributes wetness throughout the padding.
Parents have to answer enough tough questions.
Beautiful.
Welp, here we are. It's my quarterly video essay of me talking in front of a camera, telling you all why Yandere Simulator is a waste of fucking space. Since last time I made a video on the beloved indie game, the Rivals were all finished. But things have changed, and apparently there was even a new mode being added before the base game was finished. Which is very weird, but alright, yeah, it's weird flex, but okay. And since my last video, I have had a myriad of people telling me stuff that are either wrong or that are surface level information that they only know. In this video, I want to talk about all the questions and statements people made about various aspects of Yandere Simulator. But don't worry, I'll be sure to go very deep into them and also talk about the new mode. So this video will be divided into two, just like the last video. The first part will be the legal jargon and such, and the second will be about the game itself. Kind of structured like the last video, so I just want to rephrase that again. But let's move on to the legal jargon part of this video, and start with some questions people would ask in the comment section of my previous videos. The first of these questions was regarding the store-bought assets that he bought. Yes, he did buy these assets, but did he buy the license to use them commercially? As in to sell them, an injunction to also sell the game. Models and assets like the character Ayano, and even to a broader extent, the rivals and the teachers and pretty much every NPC student in the school. These are all somewhat variations of the models from the IOE character pack, which is available for either $17.50 for a single entity or $105 for multi-entity. Now, let's use the $105 one as a prime example of this situation, since it costs the most, which means you're probably going to get a license, right? You'd think. The licensing agreement for this pack is the standard Unity Asset Store EULA. And if we take a closer look at the EULA, we can see that around 3.5, around point 3.5, that unless Yandere Dev has a separate permit to use the pack to reproduce, duplicate, copy, sell, trade, or even resell these assets, he's not allowed to do so. A practice he's done through Patreon. And if we look at the website for Yandere Simulator at the About section, there is no mention of this permit anywhere. In fact, there's even a question where someone would ask if they can use the models for parody video, in which he would say that it's okay as long as you're not charging money for the video game. Which is very suspicious, because not only are the models he has store-bought, but also aren't allowed to make money off of. Now, I know people will say stuff like, oh, Noble, the game is free, so he's not breaking any rules. No, he is. Well, he will. If you take a roadmap for Yandere Simulator, he eventually will start charging money for the game. $5 to be exact for the Steam Early Access by this roadmap. And by the rules of the EULA of the Unity Asset Stores, he can't charge money for this game. So, what does this mean, Noble? Well, it means he's playing the long con. It means that he's going to stretch out the development for Yandere Simulator as long as he can, then dump a build of it on Steam or fuck it, anywhere else, charge $5 for it, and then disappear forever. The other rivals are finished, but to get them, you're gonna have to pay actual money for them. And the reason why he's adding all of these superfluous modes and shit is because he wants to keep the hype going. The reason why he wants you to pay money for these rivals is because the game isn't going to be free anymore. Now, think about it this way. Would you want to play a game that is primarily just store-bought assets that look flat and honestly unappealing and nowhere near done? Or would you rather play a game that has a unique and appealing art style and an amazing gameplay that had me playing for almost 100 hours of? I'll give you a minute to choose, and while we wait for that minute to pass by, let's circle back to that roadmap I talked about. Let's take a look at each stage and try our best to see if Alex has kept his promise. I can already tell you that the 1980s mode that he has in the game now isn't a part of this roadmap, so he's already fucked up. So from the roadmap, we can kind of tell that Alex should be around stage 4, but this is where we snag our first problem of many: crowdfunding. Way back in the day, Alex was going to put a crowdfunding campaign for Yandere Simulator that would have the goal of $3.5 thousand. But here's the thing. People were smart and called his bullshit out a year ago on Reddit. I don't understand why he would have a crowdfunding campaign for this game while he has Twitch money, YouTube money, and fucking Patreon money rolling in. So why would he have this roadmap? Well, because the roadmap is old, which further confirms my thought that Alex is a very, very lazy developer. Usually a roadmap is the #1 thing a developer would change when their plans for the game has changed even a little bit. The reason why I say this is because then people will know what to look forward to and not empty promises. A developer who loves his game and cares about it would probably think about the roadmap and scheduling first and foremost. This roadmap, at best, is probably a year to 2 years old, which means Alex hasn't updated his about section all that much. But going back to the roadmap, at stage 7, which is when the game stops being free, he wants people to pay him $5 for the Steam Early Access version of Yandere Simulator, which is insane to me. He also wants people to pay $20 to the crowdfunding campaign so that they can be provided with a Steam key. Why would I pay $20, let alone $5, for this game? What the I'm clipping through half of the wall. Look at this. Look at this. This took 7 years to develop. How am I clipping through this wall? When I could buy Stardew Valley for half of that price and get 4 times the enjoyment. I can buy Stardew Valley and the soundtrack itself if I wanted to for $5 less. Or I could buy 4 copies of Terraria. If I want to sink my teeth into it and waste more time of my life, I could just buy Terraria. Stage 8 is even worse because he not only wanted people to pay $20 for a finished game, but he also considers upping up the price to recuperate development costs like the decrepit sex doll or all of his Nintendo Switches that he owns. Not only that, but he also plans for DLC for this game. How long are we going to wait for the DLC, huh, Alex? Another 7 years? The worst part about this is that people would actually pay money for this, and that just angers me. It's not worse than NFTs because with this you actually kinda get something. Speaking of laziness as a developer, let me just remind you that this is a real quote from a man who has not given us the opportunity to change our senpai's gender for 7 years. I'm just throwing this one out there. I just want to remind you guys again. He also doesn't want his students to have book bags because it would change the NPC's routines? What? That's like saying the police officers in games shouldn't have guns because it changes their routines. What? Anyways, we have covered the legal jargon part of this game, but before we dive into the new mode and dissect it for being even more of a lazy train wreck that it is, let's talk about something that irked me in the last video I made. In the last video I made, I mentioned that he has more bug fixes than 1 month of Cyberpunk did at its start, and a lot of people were confused as to why this was a problem. Oh, doesn't bug fixes means he's ironing out the bugs and making it more playable? This is a Unity asset flip game that's been in development for 7 years. How does it have so many bugs? The bleach. What? What happened there? Her arm. Wait a minute. This is a finished game. This is a polished game. If I switch to the knife, that's a polished game. This is a polished game. How much money do you wanna pay for this? Imagine a game like Stardew Valley having almost 100 bug fixes, There's gotta be a problem here for a game so basic like Yandere Simulator to still produce bug fixes out of every orifice that it has. More bug fixes does not equal good if your game looks like this. If it's a game like Cyberpunk, I would understand, because that's an open world game with tons of cogs turning at the same time. Shit going on like voice acting, actions that NPCs are doing, and even after the game being such a monumental bug fest at launch, it was a game and it was enjoyable for a time. With Yandere Simulator, the only cog turning here is the hamster inside of Alex's PC trying to run his computer while he downloads 75 terabytes of Samus Aran porn. But yes, that's it for most of the legal things I wish to talk about this game. Now, let's continue on with the second part of this video, the 1980s mode. The new mode for Yandere Simulator is garbage. But garbage with a fresh coat of gold paint! Or more specifically, baby blue and pink. What is the 1980s mode, Noble? Well, the 1980s mode is a newly created mode for Yandere Simulator. I put new in air brackets because we all know where the story's going. This is... Oh, so there's an animation for... I want to see that again. Seven years. 7 years. 7 years of development. It is a mode in which you play as Ayano's mom. I'm not gonna bother calling her Ryoba because, quite honestly, there is no difference between them except for their breast size. That shit was so fucking noticeable when I first booted it up. Jesus Christ, lady. There is no difference between them, both gameplay-wise, story-wise, or fucking visually, except for the boobies. I guess that's what happens when you buy a bunch of assets from the Unity store and have zero skills. Speaking of placeholders, this whole mode felt like a placeholder. And the reason why I say this is because the mode feels like it just doesn't belong here, or it feels unnecessary. It's a side mode to the actual game that is completed. Honestly, this mode is just the most Yandere dev shit you could possibly ever do. There are a few things that I will point out that I actually do like about the new mode. For example, the trail. If you press T on your keyboard, then the game displays this trail that leads you to your objective, a la Dead Space style. But instead of it being helpful and showing you to different objectives or different side objectives once you talk to a lot more students, it doesn't do that. Instead, it directs you to your desk, go to your class, boom, what, you're done with your class, boom, go home. That's it.
I'm having trouble with one of my assignments. It's for my least favorite school subject.
Placeholder task.
I hate this stupid assignment so much. At this point, I just want someone else
You
to do
can't
it
write
for
this
me.
shit! It's not finished! Sure,
Really?
I guess. Fuck it. Fine. Where the fuck do I have to go now? Wait, why is it telling me to go over here? It's you. Shut the fuck up, bro. I hate your voice. It's taking me back home. I didn't do anything. I did not do anything. Like this entire time, and it's taking me home. The amount of research you have to do for this game to figure out how to kill your rival is astounding to me when you find out that this is the first rival. I guess this is what happens when you have zero tutorial to tell you what the fuck to do. Or any helpful tips for that matter. Oh, Noble, the game is designed to be that way because it's supposed to be reminiscent of the olden age of Nintendo games where they had manuals and you had to look up everything. Oh, Noble, the game is designed that way so it can reminisce about the olden ages of Nintendo games where you had to buy a manual in order to search up everything and search up everything and look it up by yourself. That's because back in the day we didn't have ways to implement tutorials into a fucking small cartridge. Now, in my last video I gave an example of old NES games not having tutorials, and I completely forgot about manuals that came with the game. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I completely forgot about manuals. It's been so long since I have touched a manual in like a game, in like a recent game that I've bought. It's been so long since I've touched one that it feels like the future is going to this place where manuals are going to be obsolete. A lot of people are going to forget about them. Even people who own manuals are going to forget about them, like me. I do own manuals in real life, but I just forgot about it. So yeah, that completely flew over my head. I apologize. In my last video, I used I forgot about manuals coming with NES games, but this is a digital game, which means manuals do not come with it unless you look it up online. But what I was trying to say with this example was that Yandere Simulator's tutorial is fucking buttfuck garbage. It's terrible for someone who is new and has no idea on how to play the game. If you just spawned in and didn't have a fucking clue where you were, or how to kill your fucking rival, you would have to then go on Google, search up an FAQ, see what you can and can't do, which is a lot, by the way, and then hop back into the game. The game doesn't like when you alt-tab, by the way. I could, for the life of you, I do not understand how to finish this day. I'm gonna look it up, actually. Why does it open up? Wait, if I alt-tab, does that do that? Yes, it does. Holy shit, if you alt-tab... Wow. And then play the game with the tutorials you've looked up online instead of in the game. The game doesn't supply you with any sort of tips or tutorials or meaning to play the game. I had to do this, and my computer nearly had an epileptic seizure like a fucking gorilla at a kindergarten. Then we get to the actual game itself. The story is very much the same. It follows a cookie-cutter story that doesn't differ from the one it's a side mode of. You have to eliminate all your rivals. Boom, done. That's literally what it is. But let's compare this aspect of the game to a game like, oh, I don't know, fucking Hitman. A game that Alex has been a huge influence for Yandere Simulator. In Hitman, you get not only a cutscene detailing who your target is, but also a mission briefing on who they are, the optimal way to kill them, their routine, and you even get this bitch fucking yelling at your ear, telling you all this shit about your target. It's carefully thought out, so it's not just mindless killing, and it guides the players to different objectives in many, many ways. What, you want to go in guns a-blazing and shoot everyone? You can! What, you want to fucking MGS stealth this fucking section and kill everybody and leave no fucking evidence behind? You can! You want to throw a fucking briefcase at someone and kill them? You can! Fucking go for it! The amount of ways you can kill someone in this game is endless. Your free range is pretty much endless and infinite. In Yandere Simulator, it's not free range as you think it is. You have to get rid of the body. You have to put it in a garbage bag. You have to take it to an incinerator to burn it. You have to discard the evidence. Go to class, and that's it. It limits how you can play the game, and because of that, it makes Yandere Simulator both bland and uninteresting to consumers. It's a one-and-done game. You have to play it for an hour, and you've pretty much experienced everything this game has to offer, without the game itself telling you how to properly play it. The reason why I say it's a one-and-done game is because think of other games like, I don't know, Stardew Valley. There are different ways for you to complete the objectives. The objectives are the same, but there are different ways to get to those objectives faster, quicker, more efficient. And sometimes you could just have fun and figure out fun ways to get to that objective. There is another method where you can talk to the rival and dispose of them peacefully, but Yandere Simulator does a terrible job at handling conversations with NPCs that most people won't know that there were two methods to dispose of these rivals, unless you watch Yandere Dev's fucking bajillion update videos. Also, this game is marketed as Kill Your Rival, the video game. It's not advertised as peacefully dispose of your rivals by giving them a stern talking to. No, it's not marketed that way. That's like if Cyberpunk marketed itself as a dating simulator instead of an action shooter fucking JRPG fucking RPG. Did I really just say Cyberpunk's a JRPG? Why hasn't nobody like modded in the Buster Sword in Cyberpunk? Please, can we have that? But that's like if Cyberpunk advertised itself as a dating sim, like one of those anime online dating weeb fucking simulator games. It makes no sense. Yes, Cyberpunk does have romance elements, but the average consumer is going to focus more on the open world action aspect rather than the relationship itself. I mean, the relationships in Cyberpunk are bare bones, so you know what I mean. Speaking of bare bones, this mode claims to be complete, but there are placeholder tasks. When you talk to a student and you ask them for a task, guess what's put there? Guess what? Placeholder tasks. How are you going to advertise this game mode as complete, but then have the placeholder tasks that are pretty much dumb fuck stupid and animation that are buggy as shit?
Really? Oh my god.
I have sat down and played this game for more than an hour and a half. And honestly, I cannot tell you the amount of times I've gotten bored. I got bored so fucking quickly that I just wanted to play a good game like Stardew Valley. This kind of makes it look like I'm advertised to talk about Stardew Valley, but no, genuinely, it's like a really, really fucking good game, and I recommend you to like play it. You will get addicted. This I promise. It's like a genuinely good game, and I've played it with my girlfriend on Discord calls, and we've had tons of fun. 90 hours to be exact. Also, I'm not sure if he's allowed to have an NES reference in his fucking game, or an NES Easter egg in his game, unless Nintendo gave him the okay, so that might be a problem. Unbelievable. Why are you walking so slow? Thank you. Oh, look, the only thing that will signal that this is the 1980s, a Famicom and a CRTV. I don't think Shigeru Miyamoto or fucking whoever the fuck invented the NES, Gunpei Yokoi. I don't think Gunpei Yokoi's fucking dead ghost would love to have an NES reference in fucking Yandere Simulator. He's fucking spinning in his grave. His gravitational pull is so fucking strong, he's spinning in his fucking grave. So anyways, because this is in 1980s, InfoChan and the panty shot mechanics don't exist. Thank fucking God! But this is where another problem arises, because now we can't get any info on the rifles. Unless you go out of your way to figure out stuff about them, which makes the game even harder for newer people. It makes the game more harder, which means you have to go online again and yada yada yada, you know what it is. You know how it goes. Another new thing that's introduced into this game mode that makes an even bigger problem was the exclusive persona. No, I'm not talking about Persona 5, shut the fuck up. I'm talking about the snitch persona. This replaces the social butterfly persona that certain students have. The students with the snitch persona will run to the faculty room and call the police on the landline phones if they discover a corpse or witness a murder, and will stay there until the police arrives. This makes it impossible to kill them because there are teachers around them. The social butterfly and phone addict personas do not appear in this mode, as those personas uses their phones. This doesn't make any sense because phones existed in the 1980s. I mean, yeah, sure, there were bricks, but there were phones. I think he could have made some rich student who could afford these phones, and when they see you commit a crime or some shit like that, they can use their phone to call the police, which I think would have been like such a good idea for a character or for a student, like a subtype of a student. But I guess Alex just doesn't think about that. I guess Alex just didn't do his research enough. Like, cell phones like the MicroTac existed the year this game is supposed to be set in, and went for about 1.5 thousand pounds, which easily could have been used by some preppy, rich, snobby classmate of yours. That would have added a new character that's kinda unique and has a reason to be there. Like, you have to plan around knocking them out first, just so you can make sure that no one will call the police fast enough. This gives the character meaning to be in the game, not make them a soulless, decrepit-eyed goblin who sole purpose is to just be an NPC. Oh, hi, Charlie. Like, give these characters some unique personality. Just make them unique, please. Speaking of characters, Alex, why is there no gay characters yet in this game? Alex? Why you dodging my calls, Alex, for gay characters, huh? Like, I know this is some minor shit, but none of these characters have personalities, so I don't know if I can relate to anyone on a subsurface level. I have no idea what this girl likes. I have no idea what that boy likes. I have no idea if this girl is a lesbian. I have no idea if this boy is fucking gay. I don't know if this boy is bisexual. I don't know if this fucking guy, I don't know, has a fucking feet fetish. I don't know anything about these characters. I understand that this is the 1980s, but it also applies to the normal mode as well. Also, gay people existed in the 1980s. Just take a look at the whole cast of Village People and tell me they ain't sword fighting in the bedroom. Come on. It angers me because then I remember that this man doesn't write gay characters because he doesn't know how to / doesn't like it. And he writes women as just only sex objects, as evident from his fanfiction, which I read from almost a fucking 11 years ago. All that shit makes fucking sense. All of the shit that he talked about and wrote almost more than a decade ago are still prevalent to who he is today. Also, the fighting game minigame mode. Oh my god, it's fucking garbage. It's just so fucking janky. I hate it. I hate it. Oh, mama. I hate it. It spits in the face of Yakuza. Like, it tries to be Yakuza, but it fucking fails. I don't know if you all know this, and if you don't, maybe you should go watch the first video, but Alex used to have this game called Lunar Scythe, and this minigame mode reminds me of that, but with a 3D axis. I wouldn't be surprised if he used the exact same code for Lunar Scythe for this game. Also, something just very, very small, but there is a Pools Closed reference to the infamous Habbo Hotel incident, which, if memory serves me right, Habbo Hotel didn't exist in the 1980s. The 1980s mode advertises itself as complete, but it's just a copy-paste of the other game. And I know people will say that he puts effort into his work, which isn't true, because if he does like his work and he does put effort into, he would have hired a studio and stopped fucking around. I didn't want to mention this because holy fuck is it easy to shut down Alex with just a simple example, but Toby Fox has his game on multiple consoles. He even has a Saiyan skin in Super Smash Bros. He even met Masahiro Sakurai! He has achieved tenfold more than what Alex has ever. I don't want to bring him up because it's such an easy answer. Support other indie devs and not Yandere Simulator. Please, if you fucking stuff your money into this game, I will find you. And I'll give you a stern talking to. If you support Yandere Simulator, you should kill yourself now! I shouldn't say that. That's a meme. That's a meme to LTG. Don't quote me on that. Ooh. Support other indie devs and not Yandere Simulator, please. If I can still manage to make multiple videos telling you why Yandere Simulator is still garbage after all these years, then you need to tell yourself that this game will never be done. And even if it is finished, it won't be the product that he promised. Yandere Simulator is a game that will probably be in game development limbo longer than Duke Nukem Forever. And that was a game. Yandere Simulator is a game that's too big and too ambitious. Reasons why Stardew Valley and Minecraft work is because it's a simple concept where you feel like you can follow the story or do your own thing with no repercussions. Games like Undertale and FNAF all started as simple concepts and bloomed into big franchises with multiple sequels and spin-offs. Man, I just enjoy when garbage people, there's a garbage truck outside. That's perfect. That's definitely what I need. That one guy's looking me straight in the eyes. I think he thinks I'm a weirdo. This is what happens when you have your window open for natural lighting and you don't have that good lighting in your room. But Yandere Simulator was always a big game from the start. It tackled an idea in 3D, which made the project and the file infinitely bigger, instead of starting small and releasing big updates in bulk. And what I mean by making the file size bigger, this shit is 2.1 gigabytes large. Where is that 2 gigabyte coming from, huh? Where? Holy shit. I'm disappointed in at how much time I actually put into talking about how terrible this game is. It's a con disguised as an anime girl and is being milked for money. People like Markiplier and PewDiePie aren't playing the game anymore because they genuinely don't give a fuck about it anymore. Markiplier is still playing FNAF and is still the king of Five Nights at Freddy's! That peaked my audio, that's perfect. But I seriously do not understand why people genuinely play this game for videos. Like, I get it. You want your money on those dumb, stupid fucking kids who still watch Yandere Simulator videos. I fucking get it. But this game has nothing to it. After even an hour to play, these people are playing the game for, like, their livelihoods. I just don't understand, man. That was a joke, by the way. You can just keep making videos on whatever the fuck you want. I genuinely do not give a fuck. I make these videos because I have fun making fun of Alex. And because I want to make sure that I reach out to as many still fans of Yandere Simulator as I possibly fucking can and ring it into them that this game will never be finished and he's just milking you for your money. I want to reach out to so many fans who are still financially supporting this game after 7 years. There is no reason to keep supporting this. It will look like a piece of shit still. And it will probably be in development for another 7 years. The only reason why it's gone on for so long is because of money. Alex says that he wants to deliver a game that won't disappoint any of his fans, but if that's the case, why not just release the game, hire a studio to help, and release updates when it's done? No placeholder tasks, no placeholder models from the Unity store. Make the game yours and not someone else's. But yeah, that's it for me. Yandere Simulator, the 1980s mode, it's all garbage, and it's getting somehow worse. I don't think Yandere Simulator will pass this stage in its development, because it seems to be just stuck in that endless game development limbo. But yeah, that's it for me. See ya. Hey there everyone, Noble here. At the end of the video, I know. Before this video ended, I kind of wanted to give a very special shout out to Calimara. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you follow me here and have like your community posts enabled or shorts, and if you've seen my shorts, you know that I was featured in her video, which is fucking cool. A big creator featuring me into her video, which is fan-fucking-tastic. This is the end of the video, and I just wanted to say thank you all so much for supporting me in my endeavors, supporting me with this video. This video took so fucking long to make because I wanted all the moving pieces to work. I wanted to get the intro done. The intro took forever in After Effects, and yeah. But yeah, that's just the end of this video. Like I said in the video, I said that I wanted to reach out to as many people who are still supporting Yandere Simulator financially and tell them that this shit is not worth your time. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you all so much for supporting me. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy, and obviously there are points that I could have made better, or points that I could have done a little bit better in this video, but hey, the video is fucking long already. But I wanted to also give a very special shout out to r/Osana, which is a subreddit where people can go on there and speak about, talk about Yandere Simulator without the fear of getting banned. And the reason why is because the moderators aren't just Alex. On r/Yandere Simulator, I think it's just Alex as the moderator. So yeah, I want to give huge special thanks to them. I want to give a huge special thanks to Calimara, who has featured me in her video and talked about like my video as well, which is very fucking nice. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed. See you guys next time. Until then, bye. I don't know how to end this video.